Hi, I'm Jackie, and this is the Jackie Knit Edit. I am joining you from a different corner of my home today. I am wearing my Thea top. This was done in a Fibre Co Luma, which sadly you can't get anymore. I really love it. I possibly should have made it in a medium, but it's in a large, I think. And I love it, and I wear it all the time, and I love the color. And the Thea neck and top, I think, suits the inverted triangle shape, which I am. And so I think that's something I'm going to add to my bio, that I knit things that look good on inverted triangles, and people that are sort of cool summer are the colors that I go towards. So what you will not see here are boat neck tops or tiny tanks. So I'm working on improving making garments that fit me well. This is my only finished object. I can't remember actually if my Cumulus O-neck blouse, if I had already started it in my last episode. But since then I have reworked the body twice, which means I've knitted it 3 times. So this is this is Hedgehog fibers. So it's hand dyed, and basically I had finished the body after it was already too big, and then I reworked it. And then I got to the sleeves, and I basically I had one sleeve that was at like 3/4 length, and I ran out of yarn. And so I'd ask myself, do I want to make this a 3/4 sleeve length garment, or do I take the body out again and knit it for a 3rd time in hopes of getting enough yarn to be able to have 2 long sleeves? I really wanted 2 long sleeves. So I tore out the body and I knitted it for a 3rd time. And now I'm working on getting the, we're gonna hold this up a little higher. You might not be able to see. There we go. I'm working on the I-cord bind off. So the pattern called for every 3 stitches to decrease. And I realized that was too tight for me. So I'm trying every 4. I think that's gonna do the trick. But I love this. Widget loves it. Anytime it's out, he will find it and go lay on it.
And by request, here's Widget.
It's an alpaca. I think it's alpaca silk. So yeah, I went up a needle size on this. So the pattern calls for size 7. I used US 8. And oh, it's a boucle. So that's kind of why I went up in needle size. And I just really love that it's so lightweight and warm and soft. And I think now that I've kind of figured out how to make the yarn fit the pattern, fit my body, I would definitely use the Hedgehog boucle again, because it's, oh, is that cute? Yes. Okay. So this one's almost done. And I also have been sporadically working on my cardigan. And yeah, so I got a little scared with this one because I'm holding this yarn double, and I say this yarn because I'm struggling to think of the name. I had originally made a carbeth in a golden yellow color, which I loved, and it's great. But then after getting my colors done, I wanted to remake a carbeth in a color that suited me better. And so I found this, and I love it. It turns out this yarn is quite a bit denser than the other kind of worsted yarn that I used. I had used wool stock for the first one, and this one is, why can't I think of the name of it? And I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. Slowly but surely working on this. Very dense. Cast on. So, what originally got me into knitting was a friend had knitted a little sweater for her niece, and I had a little niece, and I saw this sweater and I was like, I want to make that for Vivian. And so at some point, if I'm at my sister's, she's on the other side of the country, but it would be hilarious if I showed you this first piece that I knit, because the hood is so wonky, and my sister was kind enough to kind of get it to close and get a picture of her in it at daycare. But so I was inspired to knit things for my niece, and it turned into that every year for her birthday, she would get a gift from Aunt Jack. And then 2 years later, my husband's goddaughter came along. And so I also knit something for her birthday every year. So September 2nd is one birthday and October 30th is another. So summertime has kind of turned into my knitting for the girls time. So my one cast on is the Xanadu cardigan. And I had asked James kind of what color she was wearing, what color she was into. She said she was wearing a lot of black and white. And then she said that she wanted, she liked the color that was on her dad's socks. So we had him text a picture of his socks, and it was a beautiful turquoise color. And so I decided to come up with marling black and white with the turquoise. And it's kind of long, but I think long cardigans are coming back in this fall. So that's okay. And it's been really fun. This is in Berocco. The turquoise is a worsted instead of a DK, but it was the exact color that I needed, and so we're going with it. And yeah, looking forward to having it done, because then I can cast on my niece's project, and also because I have been really dying to cast on the Atelier cardigan by Le Garcon. So I had bought this yarn, which is Berocco Ultra Alpaca. I bought 2 skeins of it last year because that's what my local yarn store had. And then I bought 2 more with the intention of making my Josie hood or my Hosey hood, not sure what it is. Anyway, the more the yarn was just kind of sitting on my shelf, I was kind of like, oh, like with all the yarn and the things I want to make, the idea of the hood just, it didn't really seem like it was something I wanted to do anymore. So then a couple weeks ago, I get the email about the Atelier cardigan, which is just a very simple long cardigan. And I started looking at the pattern, and I realized it was like an alpaca wool blend, and I went and looked at this yarn, and I was like, wait, he uses an Isayer yarn for it. But this is like basically very comparable. So I would need to acquire 2 to 3 more skeins, but I might just do that, even though these are 2 different dye lots and they're slightly different, but I think that it would be totally fine. So I actually feel safe getting a couple more skeins, and I think I could even ask Wool and Company if they could send, if they have it, more of the same dye lot that I had bought 2 of these from. So that, yeah, I'm thinking about acquisitions, and I have not acquired more yarn because I am trying to get through what I have, and it's taken me so long, especially with reworking my Cumulus O-neck blouse a few times. I would have liked to have had more progress to share with you, but I don't. In addition to having returned all the yarn for the Holly cardigan, I also returned the 2 skeins of fingering weight that I had bought to make the Roni blouse, because I did cast that on. And the mohair that I have is, I had wanted to use a Lang mohair, and it was on US 8 needles, and I just didn't like it. It was too, the mohair was too tight, and so there wasn't enough of a halo and fill for that size needle. So I realized that I need to pick a different mohair. So that project is kind of on hold till I can find the right yarn. And I had posted that comment in the comments on Instagram, and was recommended, you know, use the yarn that the pattern calls for. I went and searched, and there are many colors, but there was only one color that actually worked with my palette. And of course it was sold out. So I am on notification for if more comes in, but otherwise I'm going to be on the lookout for the right mohair for Roni blouse. And she's working on a Roni cardigan, which who knows, maybe I will make that instead. I don't know. There are multiple versions of the Roni. I just love the style of it, and I'll make it at some point. So I think that's it for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. If there's anything you want to know, please write it down below. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear. One last thing, I'm going to be testing Sherry of Good Knits Cast Along app. And I'm really excited about that. She's focusing on fit, and she talks about bust darts, which I've only tried one time, and they were successful, but it kind of was an ordeal taking the time to learn to do it, essentially. So yeah, I'm going to test that app out, and yeah, hope everybody's having an amazing summer, and I will see you again next time. Thank you. Hi, so I forgot one thing that I wanted to include in the video. In the past, I talked about my Gerardina sweater and how much effort I put into buying the yarn for it. And I cast on the first 2 rows, which these are going to come out because I've not swatched, and I definitely need to swatch. If for no other reason than I've done the first 2 rows and I'm frozen. I don't know how to proceed after this. It's a lace and cable pattern that, you know, you have to follow a chart for the front, a chart for the sleeve, a chart for the back, and another chart for the sleeve. And I'm stuck, and I have Googled videos for help in how to do it. Sherry of Good Knits recently completed the Stromboli shirt, and so I looked for videos for help on how to do that. So this, and as a reminder, this is the Gerardina pattern. And so if anybody has any advice, and also if you've ever like blown up charts, because like this one's kind of fine, but like this is really small. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to do this, and there's actually not a lot of information out there about the Gerardina, and I'm wondering if it is because it's kind of a complex project. Maybe I need to go kind of hunt down the people who've made it. But anyway, if you have any advice on following complex charts with lace, or resources, if you have favorite videos or anything like that, please post them below. Thank you.